Alrighty, let's start. Okay.
Yeah, we're starting.
So, everybody say action.
Action.
Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Hafsa and welcome to this month's Youth Circle. Today we're going to be talking to a bunch of different people about gender roles and how there are different standards for boys and girls and how it affects them in everyday life. Just really quickly, when I say like female, what gender roles come to mind to you for girls? Like how should they act? What do people generally think about girls?
To wear like pink stuff and only like pink stuff.
Okay, pink.
And only like Barbies and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And if they're like older, to work at home, but for guys it's like work outside.
Okay. Work. Maybe do what kind of jobs would you?
Like housewives or something. For
Okay.
Like some people.
What if you like our girls? Of course, have their own standards. Like, what do you think is expected of you as a girl?
If you, for example, say that, oh, I don't know how to cook, it's surprising to some people.
Mm-hmm. Wherein, like, if a guy were to say, I know how to cook.
Yeah, that's also
Would it be
sort of
like-
it's seen as amazing if a guy can cook. Like, yes, I want that type of, like, that should be a normal thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
They should also be able to like. It's like the same thing with like household tasks, right? It's like if a guy knows how to like sew or do like handiwork like that, it's a surprise. But a girl should know it like off the top of her head.
Yeah, like it's kind of seen as acceptable. Like if you see like a father and they have no idea anything, like they don't know their kids' birthdays, for example, like nobody really bats an eye. But if a mother does the same thing where she doesn't know anything about her children, then it's seen as like preposterous. Like they're just like, how could a mother not know anything?
It can put a stigma on women who don't kind of fit into that role. For example, like women who are mothers are expected to be stay-at-home moms, nurture their kids, but then a working mother or like a single working mother would be seen as deviant compared to her, right?
I also think that the nurturing aspect really kind of puts a hindrance on women. Like when they go into like leadership positions, they're expected to be like when you think of a female boss, you think stern and hard because she has to be stern and hard and difficult in order to make up for people expecting her to be nurturing. We've talked a little bit about girls. I want to talk a bit about guys. There are a lot of standards that I think are kind of unhealthy for men. So do we want to talk about maybe personality traits that you guys feel that are kind of unhealthy or dangerous sometimes when they're taken to such an extreme?
Guys that like maybe show emotions, they're looked down upon or maybe seen as weaker than others because of that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think there's a lot of stigma on guys have to be this big, strong, macho person, and it's like, it's that kind of stops guys from connecting emotionally. So that kind of puts you in the cycle, like you said, where the father doesn't know his kids and the woman has to take care of them, and it kind of gets onto that. Maybe just one of the guys and one of the girls. What do you expect from a guy or a girl?
Well, I don't know if I'd really say I'd expect it, but I think one thing is girls, they tend to be more like empathetic, like more caring. So like one thing is I've noticed is that in my friend group, like where it's mostly guys, they're not open to like sharing things. They're not open to like complimenting each other, things like that. Whereas with girls, I feel like it's easier for them to like share if they're like having problems with something, and they're also more open to just like complimenting each other, things like that.
Does anyone want to talk about that?
Yeah, like so on social media, for example, if you look, it's very common to see like under a girl's picture that they posted, it would be full of comments of like, you know, compliments and all these kind of things. But if you look under a guy's photo, there's nothing there. And I like it's like sad to me because it's like it's a very known thing. Like girls will easily say, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, or like you look so good right now. But if like guys do it, it's seen as weird between them, which like shouldn't even exist because like they think like, I'm not saying that every guy thinks this, but like some like they're saying that like it's feminine or like, you know, like no homo bro, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, we see that. So does anyone want to add on that? Maybe guys, why do you feel that like, if you do feel, why is there some kind of like wall that you're not able to kind of connect with your friends in this way?
It's just kind of seen as awkward, I guess, you know? Because I mean, like, yeah, my friend gets like a new pair of shoes, they'll be like, oh, nice shoes, you know, or nice outfit. And they'll be like, oh, alright.
Yeah, because they're not used to it, so like they don't really know how to like respond to things like that because they're not used to like compliments or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
No, for sure. As guys, like getting compliments, is that like a big thing? Just like so we can see into your perspective, like if someone gives you a compliment, is that something that happens often?
Well, like in my friend group, like it's pretty different because like it used to be like that where we wouldn't like give compliments, but like right now, like if one of my friends post like Instagram picture or something, I would like post like heart rate emoji or something like that, right? So like we're pretty open to like compliments and things like that right now. Like so like it has changed a lot, but not every like friend group is like that.
Do you think that comes with age and maturity, that you kind of realize that it's not emasculine to compliment your friends?
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, go ahead.
I don't know, but from my experience, don't girls overdo it? It's seen as like a duty of every friend to then compliment that one friend who's done something. I see it as being extra, and maybe guys are not that emotional or extra, so they're a little real. You know, if they compliment it, it'll be light. It'll be like, yo, nice.
I think it's because girls seek that kind of like closeness from their friends. When you're with your girlfriends, you want to feel like, oh, I look great, I look good. So sometimes like you treat them how you want to be treated, because like girls are used to like having your friends near you, and it feels nice when your friends are like, oh my god, you look so good, you look so good. And
When
they say it
everyone
again.
starts doing it, you know, like, and they do it all the time.
No,
You're
it's
like,
because
oh.
like in society, like women are always so put down on media. So like there's this kind of like unspoken bond between a lot of women. Like I will comment on someone I don't even know, and I'll be like, wow, you look amazing. Like I'll do that because like you kind of like, it feels nice to get a compliment, and like we know that how nice it feels. Like I want to get a compliment, so I'll compliment these people. That's kind of like the mentality behind it. Like is it like the more extra you are, the more fun it is. Like it's just a fun thing to do. Like I'll like post like 10 comments on one post saying like, oh my god, you're amazing, like 3 emojis of hearts per comment. Like it's just fun, and it's like fun to like see that in your notifications if someone's freaking out about you. It's like a really nice feeling. So I want other people to feel that nice. It's not like deep.
You don't literally mean they're pretty then.
No, I
You're
do.
just carrying that
No,
excitement.
that's not at all. If I didn't think they were pretty, then I would not comment on them.
But a scroll
That's
right
cool.
now, right?
Okay. No, definitely we want to discuss. So yeah, sorry. We do want to discuss, so it's good that we got a discussion going. So let's start with guys this time. What do you think are some standards that people expect guys to have in their body?
They should have like a lot of facial hair and like hair all over them, but like
It's subjective. Though. Yeah.
Okay, maybe hairy, yeah, what else?
I think being tall is like that's
Being tall is the biggest
yeah,
thing,
that's
yeah.
the biggest thing. Like,
Tall.
even on like social media, you always see like guys that are like under 6 feet, they're like manlets or whatever. Stuff like that.
Hey, I'm getting
This is
there.
the second time I've heard this word today. What is a manlet? Okay, you said muscular. That's also something. Do you guys feel like, I've noticed, like girls will have a lot of standards, and I feel like that's kind of toxic to guys. Like you'll see girls on their social media, I need a guy that's
Can I be
tall.
honest?
Yeah?
You said girls have lots of standards put on them, right? I personally feel like it's set on them by girls.
Yeah, that's very true.
Not by men.
100%
Yeah,
true.
that's true. I think
100% true.
You guys are okay with being asked to like put on all this makeup and like go out dressed every time, like make sure you're like flexing your ankles.
There's
and
a
stuff.
difference, like there's a difference with that. Like there's a kind of certain, there's like context with that. Like if a girl likes putting on makeup because she thinks she looks good, that's great. But like what gets annoying is when guys say like, oh, you look so beautiful without makeup, or they'll say like, oh, you should put some makeup on, which isn't as common. What's most common, like I've gotten those comments myself. If like I post a picture with like my makeup on, and guys would be like, or guys or girls, whatever, they'll be like, oh, you look prettier without makeup, and I'll be like, okay, cool, then what am I doing here? And, you know, like I don't care what you think, I'm doing this for myself, and that's fine. But yeah, it is kind of like a double-edged sword where like I think that looks cool, but then maybe another girl will think, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do to look pretty.
And there's kind of like a double standard on like how people like feel. Like for example, like girls want like a tall guy or something like that and done that. But if it was flipped and like a guy said like I want like a girl who's
Yeah.
like skinny or like short or something, the internet would like blow up.
yeah, it becomes sexist. If like people, that's where I feel like there's a double standard. The girls have these big lists, and there's like jokes like, oh, why can't guys like this go to my school? And it's really like toxic for young guys to have like people going, if you're not tall, if you're not muscular, if you're not this, if you're not that, you're not good. But then if a guy were to say it, then
It's like why
You
you
get
say
crucified.
yeah. Do you guys want to chime in? Anyone on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that before, like with friends, for example, like they'll see it like a post, and you know the girl's like attractive or whatever, and they'll be like, oh hey, she's pretty cute, I'll like, you know, slide into her DMs or whatever. and then they'll talk to her, and they'll ask her out, and then she'll be like, ew, you're like fat and like gross. And then it'll be okay. But if he says something else, he's like, well, I mean, you aren't exactly Selena Gomez yourself. But she's like, excuse me, I'm a woman and I have my rights and whatever. And it's
I'm a
like,
queen.
Exactly. Like, it's like, you men are disgusting and you're objectifying women, and it's like we're not doing the exact same
That's
thing.
the double standard.
Yeah, no, for sure. Double standard exists to a point where it kind of becomes like no one's helping anyone. It's just aggressive. You're hurting each other, and I feel like a lot of times, especially because I'm in high school, I see it happen a lot in high school, and guys are just expected to take it.
The second that a woman is attacked, everyone jumps in to defend her. But then the second a man is attacked, they'll be like, he'll be able to handle it. He's strong. He's a man. So it kind of all goes back to those roots where like women are seen as something to be protected, and then men are seen as something that don't need to be. They should be able to take it themselves. And both roles are terrible.
I wanted to say that I find there's also a double standard on mental health issues when it comes between the genders. Like, if a woman has like mental health issues, it's given a lot more attention and sympathy than a man.
I feel like culturally we're all from similar areas, Asia, South Asia, but to be specific. I want to talk about what are some South Asian standards that is on gender, so we can bring culture into it. So, do you want to start?
Be good chefs, clean the house, raise the kids, don't work,
Get married quickly.
get married quickly.
Another thing I noticed, and I know you relate to this, you also only have only sisters, that if you tell someone you only have sisters, they act like it's like tragic.
No
They're
brother.
like, no brother? You know, it's okay. When you get married, you'll have a brother. And it's like, I feel like
Dude,
that's
we don't
kind
need
of,
this, right?
yeah,
It's
that,
really
It's
annoying.
like, I'm fine without a brother.
Mhm.
I have sisters, it's better.
that's just something I've noticed that happens, is that if you don't have a guy in the family,
It's
it's just,
tough.
it's your family's viewed as like,
TUF.
yeah, TUFF, tough.
Yeah, because like in that culture, they're just like, whenever a girl goes out, she needs to have like mahram with her. She has to have like a guy with her who's related to her. Like a lot of times, like it's better now because my parents understand more. But like before, in the past few years ago, I was not allowed to leave my house without him, and he's like 3 years younger than me, which was like, and I was like huge on like independence as well. So it was always really offensive to me. Like I can go out by myself. I don't need my little brother to look after me.
She's just embarrassed of me, it's alright.
I wasn't even allowed to go outside of the school for lunch. I wasn't allowed to do anything. Like my parents were just like, no, you're a girl, you need to have your brother with you, and all that kind of stuff. And I had to fight a lot. I had to fight a lot to get my own bank account. Like it was a lot. They were just like, we're taking care of you. You can get this stuff when you're married, and that statement always ends up coming. Like you can do this when you're married. When you're married, let your husband take care of it. Like I'll be like, oh, can I go out for a concert, for example?
What if you're getting
I'll be
married?
like, I want to do it, and then she's like, my mom will be like, when you get married, let your husband deal with it. Like.
I feel that it makes you feel somewhat that you're like, I don't want to say property, but it feels like you're somebody's responsibility until you're somebody else's, and you can never be your own person. And I feel like that kind of, it really negatively affects girls and how they handle themselves in their own relationships. But I feel like that kind of mindset is really like damaging to young girls who are trying to be independent. Like there are girls who aren't like you, who aren't independent out the gate, who don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't have that. So then when their parents are telling them that somebody has to take care of you, it kind of just adds on to that, and they don't know what to do when they're like, if they're ever in a situation when they're alone. For our guys, do we want to talk about something just before we wrap up, from a cultural standpoint, something that bothers you, something you feel that like is harmful to you, or something that is expected of you from a cultural standpoint?
You need to be successful throughout all your lives, and you can't have like that many mistakes. Cause if you do, then you'll like, there's like this thing like you can't get back up or something like that. And like my parents are like, you gotta be an engineer or a doctor, and you can't like screw up that much. But we'll be there, and I'm like, I'm thankful for that, but like. It's kind of like pressuring, like, oh, I gotta be an engineer, you know, I gotta do good in school. If I don't, if I mess up too many times, then
It's scary, huh?
yeah.
Do you guys want to add on that maybe?
I'm not exactly. So with me and my friends, we do dumb things, like a dumb amount. You know, we like, you know, just, I wouldn't say basic dumb things. We're kind of like, we're borderline bad when we're together, right?
Bad boy.
Camera.
It's alright.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed of that. I'm gonna say what we do, jeez. Point is, obviously I like telling the stories because we get into interesting situations, and obviously it's like it's interesting to talk about. You know, people get intrigued. But the problem is, I can't say half the things like that I'm most proud of that I've done, because my parents would be like, "Oh, you're a boy, you're the ambassador of the family. You know, if you get caught, then what shame will come onto us. What you're not gonna be like, who's gonna want to marry you now?" And I'm like, I mean, it wasn't. First of all, sometimes
Sounds like
it's
you're
not even
explaining the
that
problem
bad.
with women. Isn't that like more?
I feel like women have
It's
that
both.
more. I think it's like both.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a gender specific thing. Like,
But I think I understand where you're coming from too, because like as women we feel that like that you're gonna dishonor your family, but as a man it's like you're the son, you're the like we've like established. I feel like it's important that we talk that like even as a boy you're expected to be head of the family and strong. So
But despite that, I think it's harder to be a woman than a man in Pakistan.
yeah,
So that's a really
Yeah.
small problem. That's not a big
Yeah.
problem.
yeah, for sure. But
I'm
we
just trying to bring equality to this discussion.
we men and women all go through struggles, but the only way that we're gonna understand each other is that if you like your struggle doesn't have to be as hard as a woman's to be valid.
Exactly.
It can be a pain. It's still pain. It's still struggle. It's still something that you have to deal with every day. And we want to understand, like, and of course, I feel like guys don't have the outlet to speak about it. So even if it's not as much, even if it's not as hard, doesn't mean it's not pain. So this has been a really good circle, and I'm very happy that happened. So we'll end it off today on this note, and thank you all for coming. This has been your YATA Youth Circles. So. No, we don't clap. I don't know why we're clapping.
It'll be cut out.
Okay.